Hey guys, we are at Module 3, Lesson 16. This is going to be the literary essay, okay? Um, so before we jump in to what all of the different documents are, because it's kind of overwhelming, so before we do that, let's actually jump back to a couple of lessons, okay? Um, so we're looking at Module 3, Lesson 12, okay? So this is kind of where you started to plan and understand what the literary essay is, okay? Um, and this is also going to answer a question that a lot of people are going to ask. You're probably asking, well, can I do my literary essay on Thank You, Ma'am? And the answer is no. And I know that a lot of people are probably going to like that story more than The Convict and the Bishop and The Strangers That Came to Town, but we have a model essay right here that K-12 has provided for us. So we're not really gonna use this the Thank You Ma'am story because they already gave us a model essay of Thank You Ma'am, okay? Um, so that would be kind of like cheating for you to for you to make a essay on something that we already have. All right? So right here, it tells you that a literary essay is a piece of writing that explores a topic or even several topics in a work of literature, okay? Literary essays are written to express ideas about the characters, the events, or the themes in the essay that you, or in the literary work that you read, okay? Literary essays are supposed to have textual evidence and examples to support like your arguments, your ideas, okay? Um, so that's kind of where you want to start, all right? So you can pull up that model essay, and that's kind of what it will look like. It's a really good example of just what you are going to be expected to write, okay? So read through that, see how they wrote it, see how they had examples from the text, and they shared information about what they thought about those examples, okay? So that's kind of the first place, Module 3, Lesson 12. Then in Module 3, Lesson 13, we really started working on understanding what our topic is going to be for the literary essay. Okay, so for our essays, we are going to choose between two different types of essays. Either an essay that focuses on what a character learns over the story, which is kind of like the plot. You know how we say that characters change through the plot. They grow and they learn, and you could talk about that. And then you can also just focus on just the theme. And those are very kind of similar because usually throughout the plot you start to understand what the characters are learning, and that kind of shows you the lesson and the theme. But on this one, you can really just kind of focus on maybe like a certain theme, like how we kept talking about like being human. Like how do we find information about being human in, these stories that we read? Like, what is that? What did we learn about being human, and how we all can kind of relate to that? Okay, so whatever theme you're choosing, just remember it should be like a lesson that could be applied to anyone, that anybody could relate to, okay? Um, well, let's go back. So, okay, yeah. All right, so then after you're kind of starting to think about that, you are going to basically choose one of the stories, okay? And I have the topic sheets. Let's see. That's not it. Okay, here's the first topic sheet. You can either decide to use this one or the next one, okay? This topic is, if you look right here, how do the events, let's see if I can change that. How do the events of the strangers that came to town teach the narrator a lesson about judging others and acceptance, okay? So you can really just talk about how they learned that, and that was kind of the theme of the story. And really, to develop your ideas, you can go through this little topic sheet and answer those questions and really kind of develop your ideas, and then really kind of you can actually like find examples in the stories and use that textual evidence to support what you're thinking, okay? So that your topic actually makes sense, your arguments are clear and supported by actual things from the story. All right, and then the kind of the same thing with this one, okay? There are actually two different kind of ideas here, but you can also just make it one. This one is about the convict and the bishop. You can discuss the theme of mercy and redemption from the story, and you can kind of think about, how do Jean Valjean's experiences define the theme? Like what did he go through throughout the plot, throughout the story, that really taught us about mercy and redemption, okay? And just go through these questions, answer those, give some examples from the story in your answers. That way you can really discuss that, okay? Okay, finally, you're ready to go to Module 3, Lesson 16, okay? Go through the whole lesson, and then when you get to this part, this is where all of the documents are again. Like, you can also find them, throughout the Module 3, but I tried to put them all here for you, okay? Planning materials, okay? These 4 up here, these are just for you to prepare and know what to write, okay? You don't have to turn these in, but you need to use them to help you know what to do. Okay, there's the model essay, the note-taking sheet, and use that, after you kind of pick your topic and you're ready to start figuring out everything, okay? So really you learned about that Module 3, Lesson 13. So go back, look at that. And then obviously pick one of the topics. All right, assignments, instructions, and the rubric right here. And then I put this down here for you to know what to turn in, okay? I'm going to be looking for the outline, the rough draft, and the final draft, okay? So make sure you turn those in. All right, so here's the actual assignment instructions page, okay? That's kind of what we already talked about. Like, you can choose one of these topics, turn in outline, rough draft, final draft. Plain documents are optional, but they're really just there to help you. And then your essay should be 5 paragraphs. You can use the outline paper to help you know what 5 paragraphs to write. And let's see, if you have any questions about that, you can just let me know. But mainly, you're really looking to make sure that you use quotations and citations in your paper. You're not plagiarizing from the story. Try to use vocabulary words. The vocabulary words can always be found in the module lesson 1, but I'll also put them in the lesson 16 spot too. But just try to use at least 3 of these words correctly, and that will help you make sure that you get all the things done for that. So, and just to show you, you can always go to Module 3, Lesson 1, click Lesson Resources, scroll down, you have the vocabulary right there, okay? So if you need help, just let me know, and good luck.